Welcome to the Work Positive Podcast with your host, executive coach, and culture architect, Dr. Joey Faucette. Discover strategies and tactics that work positive as Dr. Joey talks with industry leaders who create a positive work culture that attracts top talent and reduces team turnover. Discover how you can create a work positive culture that increases productivity and profits. Here's your host, Dr. Joey.
Hey, Work Positive Nation, if I told you that you could work for a company, that you could have the opportunity to work for a company that was top 100 on Glassdoor's best places to work ratings in, say, 2021, middle of a pandemic, right? And that company went from 95th to number 4 in 2022. Would you want to work for that company? I mean, you think it might be a best place to work? Well, I don't know what jobs they have open right now, but we may find out during this podcast today if you want to go to work there. But I've got 2 of the reasons with me on this interview as to why eXp Realty went from number 95 to number 4 in Glassdoor's best places to work. And I'm so excited to introduce you to my 2 new best friends, Kay's waving, and
Hello.
Alex Szinegh. And I am so excited to have you guys on today. Thanks for taking time to be on Work Positive Podcast.
Oh, thank you for having us. And our mutual friend, Adrian, got us together. So that's awesome.
Yeah, Adrian Barker, who is an amazing individual, known her for about 5 years. We've done lots of stuff together, trainings and seminars, all kinds of things. And when she said, you got to get on this thing with Dr. Joey, I'm like, I don't care what this guy looks like, who he is, we're doing it.
Well, you obviously don't care what I look like, right? But I must say, Alex, you and I have the same barber, right?
Correct. Yeah. Washcloth.
Yeah, I would say Floyd from Mayberry cuts my hair.
Yeah.
And if you're not old enough to remember that TV program, just Google it, okay? Floyd from Mayberry.
Yeah, Google it. Look it up in your Funk and Wagnalls.
So you guys work with eXp Realty and you're in Florida, correct?
Daytona Beach, Florida. Yeah.
Daytona Beach. I've heard they have a little race there every year. Is there any truth in that?
Yeah, that's me and the police chasing me down the road.
It's quite fascinating. I mean, we have about 70,000 people here in Daytona. It's nice size, but not very large. And during the Daytona, the big race is 500,000 people, come in for Bike Week. Yep. Just hundreds of thousands come in for the races. We have Oktoberfest, and it fills up in a hurry and a lot of excitement. So.
Oh, it really is. I've chosen to be there when it was just the 70,000 people. but Daytona is a lovely place to be. So you guys are with eXp Realty. What's it like to work for a company that went from 95 to number 4 in Glassdoor's best places to work?
And it's number 1 as a real estate company. Okay,
it's the top real estate company in the U.S.
It is the fastest growing real estate company.
Wow.
And I've been in real estate 38 years, and I've worked for small, big, independent franchises and all that. And some of the reasons we're going to talk about is why we are here, because of the reality of it. And I coach realtors. I've written books for realtors. And the thing is, why would we make a move? I mean, Kay's been in it since, 2004, I think, honey?
2004, yes.
Yeah. And since I started in real estate in 1983, I got into the perfect time. Interest rates were like 20%.
Everybody
real smart. Yeah. Let me see if I should start a new career that I know nothing about at the best time. Interest rates, 20%. 20%. My mortgage payments was 17 3/4. And it was just one of those things. And what happened is, you look at the business itself, and it changed so dramatically over the years. And that's why eXp is so successful, is because they're ahead of the curve. They're completely, and that's a big thing. It's one of the great guys that explains EX, and we're not going to talk about the way it's structured or anything, because that's a whole nother discussion.
Sure.
But Brent Gove or Gove, as he says it. He is one of the top guys in the organization. We're in his organization together with Sheila Fejeran, who brought us into the company, which we're very thankful for, is that this is the next big thing. It is the big thing now in real estate. I mean, you just can't dispute it because of what they're doing. And people are like, why people are going there? You know, and when they really look and logically think about it, it's just mind blowing. So, honey, you want to say something?
Well, it's interesting. You said like through a pandemic,
yes,
you know, we had all this exponential growth, and wow, didn't the pandemic teach us all a lot of things? It taught me a lot. But one of the big lessons is we really realized you don't need big brick and mortar places.
Yes.
You don't have to. Now, I'm a real estate broker. Alex and I have had offices, 100 agents. You know, the drink agents are in there.
800 agents.
800 agents.
Big offices, you know, 10, 15, 20,000 square feet, you know.
Wow.
And I will say this. Do you know how much coffee and toilet paper 800 people use?
In that order.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And they're there, and it's this overhead and it's this expense, but you do it to have people there and build a culture. What EXP has jumped ahead, and there are others trying to follow suit now, but we've all kind of learned you don't have to have the Taj Mahal office for people to come into. People can work from home. They can work from a Starbucks. They can work from a conference room. Now, we have this very cool thing at EXP called The World. It's Verbella. I don't know if you've heard about it, but Verbella is the world. We go in. I was just on there yesterday. I needed to ask my broker. So you figure out like, wow, the Florida broker. I got in. I have a little avatar. I go in. I pick a number. I'm talking to them. I mean, I got my questions answered within 5 minutes and walked out. So it creates what EXP has done is this world, this cloud-based brokerage.
It's a video game. It's a video game, okay? Yeah, it's a video game for adult real estate agents.
You can change your clothes. Yeah. But
do you get like a lightsaber or a power sword or something? I mean, I'm interested right now.
But let me tell you something. You know, I'm so glad you kind of went there, honey, because here's the thing that happened. You know, Glenn Sanford started this company many moons ago when we went through the recession and the problem, 2008, and he lost his butt in business because, you know, we all did. We all lost lots of money and everything. And I think that's when he came to the realization that I should be able to work from home. And technology started to shift. And so he came up with the idea. But really, EXP really took off when he brought some very key people in that understood the value, came from Keller Williams, understand the value of the whole, profit sharings, all the different things. And also what happened was they kind of looked at things and said, okay, everybody's on the computers now. We do everything electronically. We haven't been, it's like I haven't been to a closing in years. You know, when we bought our place, we signed everything on the computer. We signed everything on our phone. You know, we were at an airport flying to our beach house in Costa Rica, and we were doing a couple of transactions. We were in Dubai in January, sold 5 houses, and we're not in the country.
Wow. Okay? So when are you going back to Dubai?
Well, as soon as the prince has the guest room cleaned for us, okay?
Well, I figured if you want to sell 5 houses, go to Dubai.
Yeah,
right?
it was awesome.
That's our marketing plan. Travel more because things happen when we're on the tarmac.
That's beautiful. Well, it sounds like EXP Realty is a company that really knows the market, i.e. the customers, but also knows the agents. And so how have the two of you, who are obviously very successful, top agents in the top real estate firm in the country, right? How do you attract top talent to join your team?
Well,
here's the thing. It's, and you used the word correctly, attract, because I worked in companies. I worked at Exit Realty, I worked at Century 21, I worked at Remax, and they're all trying to recruit people. And recruit. And I'm also a John Maxwell mentor certified.
Excellent.
And one of the things John Maxwell says is you can't, if you want to attract the right people, you can become the right people.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how you attract them. Like you can't be a fallen down drunk and attract a whole bunch of professionals. Okay. So you attract those people because they'll come to you. I always said in the 38 years, and I've sold over 3,600 properties. I averaged 100 sales a year. And I always tell people don't leave a company, they leave the person. I left Remax after 7 years over some stupid misunderstanding that my broker did. So I always tell people it's a mistake. Sometimes people leave, and people don't join the company necessarily, but they join the people in it.
Yes.
And one of the key things in EXP, yes, we have great systems. We have incredible stuff. Sure. Okay. However, that's not what really cements and attracts the people. It's the people within with the right mindset. We had, I was listening to John Maxwell, 1 Minute with Maxwell yesterday, and he talked about attitude. And it was so clear because that's what EXP is about. It's an attitude. He said, if you got 2 people to hire and you look at them and they both experienced exactly the same way, which one you going to hire? The one with the right attitude. Yes. Because you can teach skill, but you can't teach attitude.
That's right.
A lot of companies lose people. Yeah, go ahead, honey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump in. We have a couple of just beliefs in our household. We believe you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are.
Yes.
So there's a lot of working on ourself and adjusting and pivoting and making sure we're in the right space. We take 100% responsibility for what we attract and create.
Yes. And that's job one, Kay. That's job one.
Oh, absolutely.
I have to, and Alex, I love that distinction between recruiting people and attracting people. I have to become the person that I want to attract to my company. And so, I hear people say all the time, by the way, Alex Sherm found that 54%, I think it is, of all people leave their job because of a bad boss. So
yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, exactly. But who chose to work with that bad boss? What was there about me that went to that job and took that job in the first place? So, you hear it too. Business owners saying things like, "Oh, you can't find good people to work anymore." Da 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 da. What is it about you that attracts people or doesn't attract people? And what can I work on? And that's something you can do daily rather than whining and complaining about things you can't control, the market conditions, what have you. I can work on myself daily and become the kind of person and surround myself, as Jim Rohn used to talk about, with the top 5 people, right?
Right. We believe this.
And so I can live into that. That's something I can do daily to attract top talent, right?
Now, you mentioned Jim Rohn. He was my mentor and a coach in 1975. I met him. He personally mentored me. Wow. And I loved the guy. I thought he was amazing. And I followed everything he did. I got his tapes, cassette tapes. Okay.
Yeah, back in the day, right?
Back in the day and all that. And what it is it's like, it's an attitude and a feeling, and he used to say, when I first met him personally, he was on the stage and I said, wow. I went up to him. I said, Mr. Rohn, I said, I want to be like you. I want to be a speaker. He says, go ahead. I said, what do you mean? He says, go ahead and speak and see if anybody listens. Okay. And I said, how do you become $100,000 person in your pocket? He says, first you got to come one in your brain, in your head, because his famous saying is, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's not going to get better.
I've heard him say that a million times.
Oh, yeah.
On tapes and CDs as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay, so I have some work to do. I want to work on myself in order to attract top talent to my company and to my team. Once I do that, how do I keep them? Because for some companies, and you guys see this too, the back door is like 10 times the size of the front door.
Right.
Yes.
So I relate it to, why do I date you really hard and then we get married and I stop doing the things I was doing while we were dating? So how do you guys keep the top talent on your team?
Well, go ahead, honey. You answer that because I have an answer.
I heard you say something, Dr. Joy, and I liked how you worded it. You had to go from transaction to transformation.
Yes.
And I was like, yes. And it made me think of my aha moment back in 2006, just from selling. I had somebody listing a house, knew they wanted to be in a certain waterfront community. I knew someone over there that was wanting to sell to go be near their daughter with a special needs child. So it was a boom, boom, boom. Yes. 3 people. And at the end of those closings, all 3 people cried. They hugged me.
Oh, no.
The woman kissed me on the cheek and said, "You've changed my life." Now, did I make money? Yes, I had listings. I did sales. But the important thing, I was like, wow, like I had a whole other career before real estate in 2004. I'm a chemist by background. It's very weird, but there I was. Nobody ever kissed me on the cheek and cried and said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," for me selling them something in home care. So I remember getting that aha, very real. And I think whenever I'm dealing with clients, and we still sell, buyers and sellers, they want to be heard. I need to find out their needs. I need to ask the questions, their why, what's going on. People want to be seen and heard.
Yes.
Agents, big teams, brokerages. If I go in there and I go tick, 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 EXP's this, this, this. Yes, we have revenue share. Yes, we have stock and the stock is great. Yes, we have all of this. Yes, we have the world. I need to just find out, what are they looking for? It may be as simple as having a mentor, someone to hold them accountable, someone who has the similar core values that they can align with. Because as we're looking for those 5 people, like you said, we're the average of the 5 people. I want to be somebody else's 5th person.
Oh, yes.
I want them to see me. And so we're kind of all out here looking, and it's attracting. Do we have all the bells and whistles at EXP? It blows your mind what we have. But what I appreciate is we have a people and a culture. The agents own this company. We own it. We're building our own businesses within this business. And it's like the traditional brokerages, it's top down. Agents own it, and it goes down. Not only that, it's an amazing culture.
What you said, honey, regarding the agents own the company. There is a saying, and I heard Brent Goff say it, and it really resonated with me. A rising tide raises all the ships.
Yes.
So in other companies, I worked at Remax, great company. Okay, I'm knocking the company. It's a fantastic company. I worked for them. It's
great company,
really well, but everything was competitive because the guy sitting next to me wasn't going to help me make more money. In EXP, the more business we do, we all benefit because the stock raises and everything raises because you got revenue share, we got stock options, we got all these different things. So the fact that, I do a transaction will help the guy in India right now who's struggling, who's trying to make some business. We're in Greece and we're in, Mexico. We actually have some people sponsored in Mexico. So what happens is, everything, it's kind of like the butterfly effect.
Yes.
The butterfly swaps his wings, blah, blah, blah. And then there's a hurricane over there. What I'm saying is that's what's happening here. It's that butterfly effect that EXP has. And what's interesting is, you were saying, how do you keep the people? Yeah. When I started real estate for 6 months, I didn't make a single sale. I had 37 appointments. Nobody wanted to do business with Alex until I got into Robert Kiyosaki and went to do the DISC test. When I did that DISC test, I realized, because I used to say, these customers and bad customers and they're liars. And you know what it was? It was me. It was me. I was the problem, not them. My personality represents 10% of the population. That means 90% of people I couldn't deal with, or they didn't want to deal with me because of who I was. So here's the thing that was interesting. And Robert Kiyosaki said this to me. Jim Rohn said to me, he says, if you remove yourself from the transaction and focus on the other person, your life will change in their life. Yes. I was in a situation, I was in a relationship and marriage wasn't working too well. And I was talking to Robert Kiyosaki and he said to me, well, what seems to be the problem? I said, well, she's not doing her half. She's not doing her 50%. He goes, that's where you're wrong. A relationship is not 50-50, it's 100 and 100. I said, that doesn't make mathematical sense. I'm a math major. What, were you nuts? And he said to me, no, if you take 100% responsibility for the relationship, you can make it work. Yes. But that's the problem. Sometimes people go, well, you're not doing your part. You're not doing this. Take out the garbage, go this, go this. And then what happens, we start picking at that. So how do you keep people? Because that was the question you asked, and I went off on the tangent here. How do you keep people? What you did to attract them, don't change.
Yes.
Don't put on this face. It's like Kay said that about dating. You date the person, you put on your best performance and everything. And then after that, once you marry them or once you got the relationship, then you forget about it. Yeah. I romance my wife every single day.
Boom.
He woos me, Dr. Joe.
Hey, I ironed the curtains yesterday.
He woos me.
Yeah.
Because you can't. I left the company. I actually left Remax because the guy did everything to get me from Century 20 where I was a top producer. And then as soon as I got there, he forgot about me. He went to recruit other people.
Man. That's just so
And
crazy.
that's what most brokerages make the mistake. They go recruit people. They bring him in and say, see you later, next.
Yep.
And that's how you keep him. Don't change what you did.
I think people at our core, we want to be part of something bigger.
Yeah.
And we do. And that can go into all aspects of your life. But if you create an amazing vehicle and continuously challenge yourself and challenge others and grow and take advantage of the new tools and everything, that we have. Again, the pandemic taught us a lot of things. Technology has zoomed on. Literally.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I didn't even realize I said that. But it's you have to keep pace, keep up, keep working on yourself, keep creating that good culture. Listen, ask the hard questions, and be in tune. Not get lost in your own head.
So,
your own
be an example. Be an example. Like we joined Sheila Fejeran's group. She talked to us for almost a year, and we weren't interested. Hey, listen, I trained most people. I'm a coach. I'm a trainer. Sure. Did all that stuff. We're doing well. We're not rich or anything like that. We're comfortable. We had our own brokerage. We were happy. We didn't need to make a change. But then when we saw the person and we saw the character of the individual, and she didn't say, hey, look at all the millions I made and look at all the stock options, all that. She talked about us. What do we want? How do we want to, what's the legacy we want to make and, and leave behind. She talked about us. She didn't pitch us. I remember Kay said to me, when is she going to do the sales pitch? She didn't do a sales pitch.
I was waiting for the pitch. I was waiting for it. It
got to be there somewhere.
And that's one of the beautiful things. I mean, there's just a generous spirit. Sheila Fejeran, who brought us on, just had a generosity of her spirit. How could she help us? I was like, wow. Yeah. But we have at EXP in our world, the cloud-based thing, over 80 plus trainings a week. And you can go and pick and choose. And yes, these are top trainers, but what is fascinating, it will be someone who is a mega producer or they have a certain niche. They will get in an auditorium and share their listing presentation. They'll share what they do, how they structure things. Would you like me? Let me email anyone who wants an email of this. We're sharing the knowledge, sharing the experience. Hey, come one, come all. Let's all move forward.
We were in Puerto Rico. Remember, honey, we were in Puerto Rico and we met the top people in the company. Okay.
We went to
they were the nicest, easiest, simple. I mean, they were just genuine. There was no pretentiousness. And I remember, like Robert Kiyosaki said to me one day, money doesn't make the people. Okay. No. It just makes them more what they are. If you're drunk, you drink better booze. If you're a jerk, you're a bigger jerk. And if you're a good person, you're more generous. If you're a generous person, when you're poor and you don't have any, then you're more giving. And so one of the biggest things is too, I actually wrote that note down for myself. Stay an example for people. Yes. My parents, I was 10 years old, they caught me smoking. We were living in Hungary. They caught me smoking and I got punished. And you know what was interesting about it is my parents said to me, "Oh, don't smoke and all that," while they were chain smoking.
Yeah.
So you got to be an example. And I think that's one of the big things is the example. Like Glenn Sanford is he's a billionaire. Yeah. He's a humble man. We met him personally. We chatted with him. You know, we met his people around the top people. Just an amazing guy that way. No, he's not a superstar, charismatic, sure. He's just a nice guy.
He's authentic. He's very authentic.
He's genuine. Yeah. So stay an example. You want to keep your people.
Yep.
Don't change what you did to get them. And that was one of the big things because Kay had some bad relationship, in her lifetime. I had bad relationship. Sure. And that's what happened. We had this great relationship in the beginning with these people, and everything looked fine and great, fantastic. Whole life is going to be great. And then as soon as, you got married or as soon as you make a commitment, boom, everything changed.
Right.
That's one of the things we found. We've been at EXP for just a little bit over a year. The people are still the same. There wasn't a pretentiousness at the front that to get us in and then forget about us. Okay. It was still that communication and the training. And I do training and coaching for the team and all that kind of stuff. Sure. So I love that part. I love the part that they didn't abandon us,
Right. They did not abandon us. They saw us.
They didn't abandon you.
Heard us and continued to see us and hear us. Kay and Alex Szinegh are my guests today on the Work Positive podcast. You guys remind me of something Zig said years ago. If you help others get what they want, you get everything.
Yes.
You want. And then
you can't help it as long as you're doing that.
Oh, absolutely. And then you remind me of what C.S. Lewis used to say, and that is, it's not that you want to think less of yourself. You want to think more about others. And that's exactly what you're doing. So what's the challenge today for you guys in your business in attracting top talent and keeping them and creating this positive work culture? Just name one challenge that you face today.
I think the challenge is usually people as misconception. Okay. It's a misconception. I had somebody say to me yesterday, "Oh, you guys are that pyramid company." And it goes back. And you understand that because you go back to our age, back in the day when the guys were hustling soap and different things, gadgets and widgets and things. And then the top guy made a ton of money. Then he sold the company or he dumped the company. Right. And then everybody moved to another company. And then they went from there to another company. And it was that whole scheming thing. And I think that's a little part of it. And the other thing is that people are so skeptical about things that if it sounds too good to be true, it can't be true.
Yes.
Because EXP is the real, and we got the 4 pillars that agents are looking for: leads, they're looking for training. Okay. They're looking for some equity, something, give me something so that I don't just have to keep schlepping real estate.
Sure.
And are you going to share any of the revenue with me? I worked for a company for 15 years. I helped the owner become a millionaire, promised me shares, promised me all kinds of stuff and everything. I'm not going to name the guy, but here's the thing. I got this much. Okay.
You're
nothing.
Still waiting.
I'm still waiting for that goodies, all the goodies and everything like that. And I've been in real estate 38 years. I spent almost half my life in that company helping them grow. And I helped them go from 2 agents to over 30,000 agents, from, a couple of offices, to over 1,200 at one point. And I'm still looking from the outside in, so to speak. That's not going to happen at EXP because every little bit I put into it, and it's not like, okay, pay me, give me back. Sure. But I want to see something of my efforts. I want to be appreciated. And it's like, business. is a relationship. It's like me and my wife is a relationship. I appreciate her every day. She appreciates me. I feel loved and appreciated.
Yeah.
I feel like there is, the heart goes with it. And what was that thing that you were interviewed on where there's that guy had that special book? I forgot the name of that, of coming from the heart to go from transaction to
selling from the heart, right?
Oh,
selling
you guys
from the
know
heart.
Larry Levine? He's a friend.
No, but I'd love to get to know him because I thought that was amazing.
I'm happy to make the introduction. Larry and I are personal friends, and so I'd love to hook you up with you. Sellingfromtheheart.com, Work Positive Nation, if you want to go there right now and check that out. Kay and Alex Szinegh are my guests today. So Work Positive Nation always wants to know one thing before we close out these podcasts. And by the way, I could talk from now till next week to you guys. So I just want you to know how engaging you are and how much fun this is for me.
Me too.
We're having fun too. Yes.
It's a beautiful thing. And I can't wait to have you back on the show and to know you even better. Sounds like I need to come to Daytona, doesn't it? What's one thing our listeners can start doing today to move into a more positive work culture?
Go ahead, honey. Instead of me grabbing it.
The first thing that comes to my mind is really listen to people, really ask the hard questions, and find out what their needs are. Look, does everybody want to make a living? Yes. Sure. Would people like more money? Yes. But when you delve into it, they really miss that they're working so hard that they can't go to their kids' t-ball game or soccer game. They're not at home. They can't take vacations and they're afraid. They're like a rat on a wheel. Is business good? Yes. But once that stops, the money stops. Yeah. So people are looking for financial freedom. Freedom means have more time to do what you want to do and be with the people you want to be. Right. And to have a legacy that you can pass on. That's what I hear. And when people get that and they get that you're invested in their growth and their success, it's like coming home. We were at that party and I walked in. We had no idea who we were going to see at this party. It just sort of blindsided us. And I noticed something very interesting. Heavy hitters, high ups in EXP, they would greet each other. And I started seeing them saying, "Thank you. You've changed my life." They were saying things to each other. And I'm like, that is so fascinating that they just are all helping each other, helping us. I can't tell you how many people said, "Here's my number. Call me." This is somebody huge. Call me anytime if I can help you. And I think people want to be part of something bigger. And it's just listening. What are their needs and seeing if it's a good fit. It might not be a good fit, but for many this is. For many of us, it resonates.
How do you create the culture?
Active listening, doesn't it, Kay?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a friend who owns a real estate company out in Nevada. And he tracks people because of who he is. He doesn't give shares in the company. He doesn't have revenue share. He doesn't have the bells and whistles. But he created a different kind of culture that he attracts people to that culture. And I love this guy. I known him for like 30 plus years, and I think he's amazing. And he's just a fantastic guy. And it's him. It's the person. It's that. Yes. So you are the culture, it's don't change who you are and just be genuine and consistent. And he's been so consistent all these years. I known him. Actually, I known him 20 years. I said 30 because it feels like I known him all my life. I actually call him my son. I call him my son. Okay. Because I feel that good about him. He's got a son. I call him grandson. And, I got 4 children. I got 6 grandchildren, but he's part of my family because he makes me feel like I'm part of his family all the time. And so, if you own a company, you don't have to give all the money away. You don't have to give the ship away. You don't have to give everybody a car. You don't have to do that. It's not about the stuff. Yep. It's who you are. I have friends that work at Century 21 who never leave Century 21. Okay. Right. The reason is because they love the broker. They love the environment. They love the little office. They think it's the fabulous, great, incredible place. And I talked to them about EXP. They said, you know what? I'm comfortable, I'm happy. And I said, you know what? That's good for you. Stay there.
You need to be.
And it's like my daughter.
Right.
My daughter, Sabrina, the youngest daughter. Not the youngest, the other youngest. Okay, because she's like in her 40s. She just joined EXP. She's a realtor and all that, and she's going through some tough times. She lost her husband to COVID about 10 months ago, and her attitude was she was selling a car, and this explains it the best. The guy was looking at the car. He says, I want to tow a boat, and I will do this, and I will do that. And it's not a great car. It's an older car, but and my daughter said to him, you know what? I'm not going to sell you the car. You know why I'm not going to sell you the car? Because it doesn't serve your purpose. I would be doing injustice to you. Yeah, I want to get rid of this car because I need the money. Okay. Right. I mean, she's on her own, got 2 kids to raise. Her husband passed away. She's got bills and all that. But she said, you know what? I'm not going to sell your car because I'm going to do you injustice. And that's the big thing.
Yes.
That's the key. Okay. Exactly. So if any company you own, I don't care where you work or what you do, keep that feeling of you're not just the money, you're not a number, you're not a subject, and I'm going to do you a favor. Listen, I fired people in real estate and did them a favor because they were wrong for the real estate.
That's right.
Okay. Yes. I used to say to people, I wrote a book on real estate. You could eat my book and you'll never become a realtor.
I've heard him say that a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of like I always say, if you sit in your garage, you're not going to turn into a car. Right? So the thing is, you do a favor. I used to call it a career relocation.
That'll work. Kay and Alex Szinegh, how can Work Positive Nation get in touch with you guys? Because they're going to want to extend this conversation.
Well, I have a website called alexszinegh.com, ALEXSZINEGH.com, which is my training website. I got a lot of free stuff. I give you a free book, all kinds of stuff. You're not obligated to do anything if you want to talk to us. We are Kay and Alex Szinegh, realtors in Florida. You can look us up on Facebook. It'll be easy to find. It'll be a piece of cake. Okay. And, I'm going to hand out my business card. Everybody always calls Kay. She's just better looking. Okay?
Well,
so
I can understand that,
Call
Alex.
her, okay? Her number is 813-918-0624 or kaycinegh@gmail.com. Because I know you're going to call her anyways. You're not going to call her.
Right, exactly. and by the way, Adrian's going to make sure all that stuff gets put in the show notes, Work Positive Nation. So, if you're showering or driving down the road, or walking the dog, don't stress. It's right there in the show notes. You guys are amazing. I mean, if I had to think of just 2 words to describe this experience today, other than fun, which I've already said 3 times, it's mutual benefit. Mutual benefit. If I work for your success,
that's perfect.
As much as I do mine, then we're working for a win-win-win, right? So it's
win-win-win. Yeah,
You guys are amazing people. I'm better for spending time with you today, and I know Work Positive Nation is too. Thank you so much for the gift of your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We enjoyed
Dr.
it so
Joey.
much, Dr. Joey.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Work Positive Podcast with your host, executive coach, and culture architect, Dr. Joey Faucette. Please share this podcast with your friends who are small business leaders so they can create a positive work culture that increases their productivity and profits. Get your free 15-point Work Positive checklist to help you attract top talent and reduce team turnover. Download this checklist at workpositive.today/checklist. Remember, it pays to work positive.